Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Show you my soul. Yes, 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 yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm feeling some kind of way today. I'm feeling good. How are you? I hope you're feeling great. All right. It is Thursday. Hallelujah. Thursday, making our way towards the end of the week, headed into the weekend. It is the 13th day of May. And I'm just so excited, and I just can't hide it. Hello to Yolanda Riley, super fan, top fan. Hey, girl, miss your face. So glad to see you here. Sherry McQueen, so good to see you as always. And Lori and the rest of all of you out there. Look at you all looking just as great as you want to. I'm happy to be here. Boy, what a day yesterday. I was really excited. I have a 10-minute show that just debuted yesterday on IGTV and also on the Symposium app. It's entitled 10 Minutes to Change Your Life. You may have seen some of the stuff on my pages. Here is the hourglass, which is a 10-minute hourglass. And it's 10 minutes of great content for people to just pop in, grab something on the go. It's like just like you stand in line for more than 10 minutes or in the drive-thru for Starbucks. So why not get in line for 10 minutes that can change your life? And that's every Wednesday on the Symposium app and also live on IGTV. So anyway, what's going on? First of all, let's talk about something good first. And I want that to be this right here. There she is. Our good friend, Pia Renee, who just the other night made her way to the live performances on The Voice. She's in that final run to the finish line. So we want you guys to support our friend. You may remember Pia from the Power of We Symposiums. She performs for us there, and just a great friend and a wonderful person. And she has worked so hard for so many years to get this career where it needs to be. And it looks like she's just about there. So with your support, pour into Pia, won't you please? If nothing but a prayer, we'll take, oh, look, I can peek around her. Hi, everybody. How you doing? So anyway, Pia Renee, mark your calendars. Okay, download the the NBC app, and let's support, right? Right. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, oh my goodness. Yesterday when it was Ask the Experts Day, you might remember the reset coach, Tracy Randolph, was talking about how she had just driven for 12 hours from, I think, New Jersey or Philadelphia, somewhere like that, to the Carolinas, and how they thought they were going to run out of gas because there were no gas stations that had gas. And this gas shortage, the Colonial Pipeline, good news, it reopens. It has reopened, but gas prices and panic buying are just sending those prices through the roof. I know this morning on my way to the health club, I noticed that just since yesterday, the prices of gasoline here in Chicagoland went up 26 cents. So you might want to fill up. It should be getting better, but I get it now because it's probably going to go up a little bit more before it goes down. There's several states, however, that have declared states of emergency. Florida, North Carolina, just to name a couple. And it's just think about it, you guys. And there's a terrorist group or a hate group that was claiming responsibility for the attack on the Colonial Pipeline. So, prayers, you guys. This just proves even more so how important it is for all of us to make our difference in the world, no matter how small you think that difference may be, as long as it's a difference towards positivity and growth and change, love, and all the things that make us better. We want to do whatever it is to find that E and that R and stick it to everything wonderful. Take bright to brighter, strong to stronger, great to greater. And we do that by pouring into each other, right? Can I get an amen? That's the bell of purpose. You know what it means when you hear it. It means that some content is out there that we want you to take a good look at. Don't just speed down the road past it. Trust me, just because it's in the middle of the road doesn't mean it's roadkill. If you back up, take a good look at it, you might find that it's actually soul fill, something to fill your soul with so that you can help fill the souls of others. Ding, there it is. And welcome to the stage at this point every day. This is my sidekick, my gal, my version of Ed McMahon. Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Hazelnut cream. That's what it is. This one actually tastes like it. So good for you, Big B Coffees, because that's who that made that brand. Today, you might remember this guy, Lane BELONE. He's been here before with his co-author, Stephen Kuhn, and they have a book out together. Been out, I think, maybe 6 or 7 months by now. Unleash Your Humble Alpha. And we're going to talk about that today. And I really want to get into his travels. What I love about Lane, everybody says the same thing too. He's just so, just right here. One of those guys, kind of like Tim Chung, our expert, who is Mr. Happiness. Lane is like that, but I think he's like, remember Kung Fu with David Carradine? He even has a picture where he looks like him to me. You know how he's just so zen and, but master, why would the da-da-da? Yes, that. And I bet he tells the best stories, and we're going to find out. So, we're going to get him in here. Get your questions ready. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And what can I say? You know what we do at this point. Put your hearts into it. Put your hearts on the screen and pour into Lane BELONE as he comes to the stage, because here he comes. Lane BELONE. Hello, fellow veteran. Lane.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well. Your music is just so smooth, and so it just makes you feel good. Makes you just want to just like.
I saw you grooving back there in the green room. Don't you love it? That's our theme this year. Show me your soul, and I'll show you mine. And what a better time than always. Not just the pandemic, but always for us to be that vulnerable and that open. and willing to pour into each other. So how have you been since you were here last?
A lot of great things are happening. I mean, just one thing after another, and just enjoying life, welcoming the good stuff, and welcoming the good people, and just keep on taking the next step and enjoying it to the fullest.
I hear you. Tell everybody where you're at in the world and what you're up to.
Yeah, I'm up to a lot of good stuff. Right now, I'm in Colorado. I actually just got back from Atlanta. Spent about 2 days there with some friends, and it was just a really interesting encounter. We had a day of play, and this was on the back end of a retreat that we hosted about 2 weekends ago, and in northern Georgia, in this beautiful place called Alohi. And one of the guys that attended, he's like, we had a conversation after the retreat, and it was centered around playful power and powerful play, and how we can use those tools or use that part of ourselves to spark the best life that we can have, and let go of the old paradigm of work and play have to be separate. And so it was a really beautiful experience these past couple of days. I mean, just things just flowing, happiness, joy, playfulness, stepping into our power. And yeah, so it's a lot of great things have been happening. And as you know, my business partner, co-author Stephen Kuhn, we were both down in Peru about a month ago and had just an incredible retreat. So a lot of cool things are happening, and willing to dive into whatever the moment calls for.
Now, Peru. Okay, when you sent me some footage, we're going to show a couple little clips that are really cute about your trip. I was thinking this was from a previous trip. Didn't you go there before? I thought I remember when we were working on the Humble Alpha piece. Didn't I see some photos then from someplace that looked like Peru?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Stephen and I, we take veterans and entrepreneurs down to Peru every year. And so this past about a month ago, that was our third trip. And we may do another one later on 2021, but for sure, probably March 2022. So
what's that all about? Tell us about that retreat. What's it for? What's the goal, the end game when you take these vets there?
Yeah, so it's a mix of a lot of different things happening. It's mixing transformation, powerful transformation, letting go of the old identity, letting go of the old story, stepping into your greatness, stepping into this new vision that you see for yourself, and fully deciding what you want to become, who you want to become, how you want to interact in the world, and doing it in an experiential way. It's great to, and that kind of goes back to the whole playful power and powerful play thing, is that it's cool to go to workshops, retreats, and get serious and work on your stuff in life, and that's all. It all has its place. But for me, travel, exploration, seeing new places, experiencing these powerful places with beautiful souls, people that are on the path, that are just doing good stuff in life, and expanding, who they are and the impact that they're creating in the world, and allowing that to be a beautiful experience where it's this keystone retreat, having fun, exploring ancient sites, letting go of your story, and all this stuff is happening. And it's just a really beautiful, powerful experience. And, I recommend, anybody to use a retreat like this to their advantage whenever they have the opportunity.
So you guys are there for how long?
Yeah, so it's an 8-day retreat.
8 days. Okay. Yeah. How many of you?
Depends. Last year or this year was, much more difficult because of the COVID, and we had 6 people. And the year before we had, I think 6 or 7. And so it's right now it was difficult because there's so much uncertainty with travel, COVID, and but the people that did show up got so many amazing insights and clarifications on their path.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. So tell us, what was the primary difference, or was there any, between last year pre-COVID and this retreat? The mindset of people. What did they bring to unload? Did you feel that there was, did they just pour like tons of stuff out on the table this time because of what we all went through this past year? And I'm sure there was a clear difference in the
Yeah,
mindset.
100%. Yeah.
Talk about that. What was the most prevalent or evident difference that you saw in people that came this year as opposed to last year?
So it's like we put ourselves in containers of expansion, and that's exactly what this retreat is. And with the lead up of this retreat was, this unfolding of who we want to become, because COVID really exposed a lot of things about ourselves. It forced us to get out of our comfort zone. It
Yeah.
forced us to perhaps pivot a lot or a little bit in our business, and all these questions that this big worldwide event brought out of all of us. So all of that, was rumbling to the lead up of this powerful container. And so everybody that showed up was ready to do the work. They were ready to let go of this old story and to be able to allow themselves to step into their greatness, because right now is the time to continue on that path of what is my preferred experience in life? What is my preferred experience in business? What aspects or what role within my business do I want to actually dial in? Because, as we move forward, there's going to be more people that are helping us on our journey, not only in business, but in life, that are complementary to the things that we aren't awesome at. And as we dial in, and niche down on our gifts and talents that we need to bring into the world, we're going to have people that are complementary to our gifts, and our gifts are complementary to them. So
Right.
doubling down on ourselves, doubling down on who we really are, and the experience that we want to have in life.
Good stuff. So, Lane, when you go on these retreats and now everybody's back, it's been a month. What happens with folks after they, let's say, post retreat, when they come back? Is there some kind of follow-up program, or is there a group? How do people then, because I'm interested. Because here's why. I think the retreat business is about to go boom, 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 because people are itching to go somewhere, but they're also now itching to come back into a world of movement, if you will, where things are kind of getting started again with a better version of themselves. I think a lot of people learned a lot about themselves, and sometimes it wasn't stuff that they really felt they wanted to continue in that vein. They wanted to do better. I hear that a lot. It has forced people to peel the onion, if you will. Their own onion, not just always pointing it at somebody else, but their own. So what's happening with your group now? Do you guys still work together afterwards? What happens then? Are you just good luck, you're on your own, or are these people that you'll probably be friends with in some cases for the rest of your life?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's one of those things where when you experience a retreat like this on such a deep level, you become soul running partners, and being able to have each other's back no matter what. And that integration period is where all the money is made, so to speak, because whenever we have these peak experiences in life, it's great to, experience these beautiful, powerful things. But then when we go into the real world, we're like, oh man, like, how do I, get more of what I experienced at that retreat?
Right.
And so basically it's vibrating at a high frequency at the retreat, peak experience. And as we integrate, we basically raise our default. So that way, as we continue to move in life, the high frequency, this good living, this joyful playfulness, this powerful play, playful power, embedding light and wisdom into every aspect of ourselves. As we move forward in life, we're able to just exude that. And that's the experience that we're creating for ourselves in our life and in our business and in all relationships.
Okay.
So the integration piece is incredible. And so, for instance, one of the guys that came, Jesse Tedesco, him and I, along with our other partner, Tori Gordon, we actually started a full kind of retreat thing. And it's called Vortexes of Light. And it's primarily based in the U.S. So a lot of people have more difficulty getting down to Peru. And so we're like, Jesse and I were talking, and we had a retreat in Georgia in January, and a men's retreat, and it was just a beautiful experience. And so then we're like, let's do it again. Let's bring in Tori. She does breath work. And so we're just continuing on this path of having these powerful retreats. And so the next one that we're having is in Sedona at the end of July.
Oh, I love
And
Sedona.
yeah, it's just a beautiful place, and we're
Red
having
Rock.
themes. And
Yeah.
so it's so you spoke about the integration piece, and so the idea behind vortexes of light, which we're kind of moving around a little bit, but I'm involved in both. But
Sure.
it's an idea that where we have three different kind of phases. So the first phase is what is energy? How can we use energy in our life? How can we set intentions around energy? And and that's a whole month of discussion, calls, and to be able to connect with all the people that are on this path. And then the second phase is the actual retreat, and then the integration period for a whole month. And that is where we're like, okay, we have a beautiful, powerful experience in Sedona centered around energy.
Yeah.
And then we have the integration period of where how do I take those practices that I learned? How do I take those high vibration experiences and then integrate it into my life fully with my friends, my family? And the idea around this is that we're just wanting to gather some people that want to do life together, and so we have, like yesterday, we had a Grammy winning producer, join us for the day of play. We had a guy that's in the medical field. We have a guy that's his entire thing is about play. Myself, wealth manager, so we have all these different skill sets.
Yeah.
And they're all complementary. And we're just like, hey, how can I just help my fellow brother and sister do some good life, bring out the best in them, and then just keep on going? And
that's a big deal right now. A lot of people are really serious now, finally, about wanting to take the steps necessary to fully embrace their best life, live their best life. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It took me 40 years before that started becoming important to me. And, something about when you hit that demarcation line known as 50, you start to understand, oh shit, I probably have more life behind me right now than I have in front of me. So my mantra switched immediately into get her done, get her done. So I definitely relate to that. It resonates. I want to ask you now, talk about Sedona. I want you guys out there to think about it, because I want to talk a little bit more about retreats, because I've never been on one, and I feel the time coming soon. Because I feel I need something different. I'm like, well, maybe it's inside of a retreat. But I know about Sedona because I was stationed in Arizona for all of my time in the Air Force. And we went there often because it was the vortexes and the energy, a lot of palm readers, and the stories from the Native Americans of the healing waters and the dirt and the red rock. And, especially when you first come into town and you see that cross on that church up there, I'm talking about. Yeah. I just love it. As a matter of fact, I camped and we stayed in Christopher Creek, which is right there. It's just adjacent by the little downtown area, which is just like this big. But I had an experience there, and I told my husband, I said, because we had a thing about that, because he thought, well, I thought we were going to sprinkle our ashes one day at the same place or whatever. I was like, well, it has to be Christopher Creek, because he's never been there. And he's like, it caused a little rift here, but I say this because something happened to me there. They had all these big rocks out on the water. You could like walk out to them and sit on them, and it was a full moon. And I told all my buddies that were there, I said, you guys, if I should ever suddenly die or anything, and you like the night after the funeral or whatever, you wonder where I'm at, come here. This will be the first place I'm going to come back to. There was something about it, just something very centering. I can't, some things they haven't invented words for yet, and the experience there. So I'm really interested in the Sedona trip. So I'd like you to come back when you guys have it all together, so we can share it with everybody. And I want to know personally about it, because I think I'm going to get in on that one. Seriously.
Yeah. And the cool thing about so as the third phase, kind of left that out, but that's where the implementation and action. And because it's great to acquire wisdom and the knowing of stuff.
Yeah.
But actually to create in the world and to have that true impact in your business, in your life, in your relationships. And part of that, you're going to be taking action in the integration period, but it's about how do I continue the path of actually implementing and taking it out into the world? Because, that's, one of the most important things that we can do is once we understand ourselves, we figure out who we are and how we interact in the world and what we're doing. Well, to bring that out in other people, to just live authentically, live a good life, hang out with good people, and just focus on like what do we want to, what kind of experience do we want to
Right.
have in life?
Right. You know, I've heard from a lot of people who have experienced great retreats, because no two are the same. But when it's a great retreat, they say you can always tell because when you get home, you're lighter. That you leave something there and you bring something back. So you come back with more power, but you come back feeling lighter. So, oh, wow. I can't wait to hear more about that. Now, about your thing in Peru. Why Peru? Why do you guys always go back to Peru? What is it about that place?
There's just a wisdom that that just keeps on pouring. And yeah, well, you know, Machu Picchu is one of the, you know, wonders of the world. I can't remember exactly if it's the modern one of the wonders of the world or ancient, you know, but, you know, it's one of those places where it has so much power. And then so many other places that we experience and travel to while we're in Peru, there are these like power places. They have, and we, you know, like Sedona is really known as, it has four major vortexes.
Yeah.
You know, these like hubs of energy. And I've been to two of them and I felt it. And it's just this really impactful thing. In Peru, we have the same thing. And we have all these different types of energetic signatures that just when you go there, you're like, man, I just feel like I'm just receiving something. I don't know exactly what it is. And
but you can feel it pouring into you.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when we, you know, utilize the plant medicine to open ourselves that much more and expand ourselves that much more, we're able to then tap into something that we can't normally do in ordinary states.
Plant medicine. Wait a minute. I think
absolutely.
they got some of that here, right over here by the VA where I go. Called a dispensary. Are you talking about weed? I'm just kidding. What are you talking about when you say plant medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a plant medicine. And you know, it's so for me, it's the question becomes, what plant medicine do I need in my life right now? And just being able to answer that question honestly, and maybe helping or getting help from those who have experienced different types of plant medicines, you know, but it's absolutely a plant medicine. You know, it's not my thing, but for many other people, it's a really beautiful, you know, tool or plant medicine that they can incorporate in their life.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, here's a couple little snippets from this trip to Peru. And let's take a look. Look at that.
Machu Picchu right here. Just, yeah.
What are those? What are those little things we're looking at? Are those houses? What are those?
So those are actually, was that Machu Picchu or was that Ollantaytambo?
Okay,
yeah, that was Machu Picchu. Yeah, so those are you know, a lot of the history is, you know, still being figured out as we speak. But a lot of those buildings are storehouses where people lived. And I don't want to say too much because it kind of ruins the experience, but depending on the type of building and the beauty of the structure. And so you see like some stones are like really rugged, and then you see some stones where you can't even slide a piece of paper through.
Yeah.
There's a difference between those types of buildings. And so when you go there in Machu Picchu and in other places in Peru, you realize the significance behind that and the sacredness behind the buildings that have that perfect, you know, stone cutting and placement without any mortar. And it's a really beautiful history.
I hear that everything there tells a story.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it goes deep.
That's what I've heard. Now, what language do they speak there? Is it some type of Spanish or?
So the normal in Peru is Spanish, but many of the traditional, especially the more spiritual side, they speak Quechua. And so that's the native tongue of the Quero, which are the indigenous tribe high in the Andean mountains. Yeah. Okay. And also Quechua is spoken near Lake Titicaca and in other pockets of indigenous tribes, you know, throughout Peru.
Wow. Here's another little, I found out that you have a lot of buddies there.
That's Paco. And so this is at the mountain house where we stay in on the upper lip of Cusco. And this mountain house is the house of our friends, Another Planet Peru, the Mybergs, Leslie, Simon, and Mark. And so this is just a beautiful, beautiful place. And just outside of this mountain house, this little compound, is dozens of ancient, thousands of year old temples. Temple of the Frog, Temple of the Moon, Temple of San Pedro, Temple of the Frog, other energetic places. And then this right here is Machu Picchu. And I was just saying hello to this little guy. And
you call all of them buddy. Hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. So they're just walking around, just
hanging out,
doing their thing. And that's a llama, right?
Yeah. And the cool thing about it, and it's good and bad, but so when we visited Machu Picchu, normally there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people there every single day. At that time, there were probably about 10, 15 people in the entire grounds of Machu Picchu. So we had it to ourselves at that moment.
How nice is that?
Yeah, I mean, but it was also kind of a somber reminder of the times we live, right? Because the whole COVID situation, significantly less travel.
Yeah,
and, it's definitely affecting the economy in Peru. And it was, Aguas Calientes is the small town that leads up to hot water. Yeah,
yeah,
hot springs. Yeah,
Spanish.
Yeah, there we go. Ding.
Yeah.
But it was kind of sad though, because 90% of the businesses were closed. When it's usually just popping because thousands and thousands of people. So, it was good and bad, but
bittersweet. Yeah,
a little bittersweet.
Nice to have it to yourself, but also a somber reminder of the reality we now find ourselves within. So, real quick before we go to break, Lane, what would you say the biggest difference was for you as a person this time as opposed to last time? What did it do to pour into your spirit this time that was different for you because of COVID and all of that? How was it for you personally?
For me, it was, of course, it was the most powerful Peru experience I had. And it wasn't just because of the Humble Alpha tour, the 8-day tour. Mm-hmm. I did 2 separate adventures on my own with different guides. One to visit the indigenous tribe of the Quero high in the Andean mountains for almost a week. No cell phone, no electricity, nothing. Just really connecting with the local indigenous and connecting with nature. And then I had an adventure down in Lake Titicaca, where we could talk about that for about 5-6 hours. There's so much that happened there, but all of that was in preparation for a culmination of who I am. And to be able to, because for the past several years, for me specifically in my journey, a lot of things have been building in a beautiful foundation. The book, work with the veterans. How the books turn into college courses. And there's a lot of beautiful things. We have a fund that is in the works right now, and all this stuff has been leading to this perfect moment for me. And it was a revelation of who I really am, who I truly am, and how I'm going to continue to step into the world. The story continues, of course, but it was a beautiful milestone of just like my entire life, why I'm here, and what I'm going to be doing in the next few years, and of course beyond.
Yes, that beautiful moment, that intersection where it all begins to make sense, where it all comes together. I get it. Listen, when we return, my allergies, my eyes feel like I have sand in them. So I apologize for the constant rubbing, you guys. When we return, we're going to talk to Lane BELONE about, of course, the book, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, but also his experiences within the military, what his work was like and what he came out like after, and why he's so passionate about working with fellow veterans and just people in general. That and a whole bunch more when we return. Don't go away.
perfect book for a veteran, especially if they've been struggling with transition or trying to find their place or they haven't found that stride.
Hey then, welcome back to the show. My name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and you're in the midst of today's episode of Bathrobe Moments with my guest, BELONE. We're going to get him back in here in just a second. But first, I want to say hats off. Thank you. Thumbs up to my sponsors for today. And that would be Natan Bradbury, who will be my guest on the 17th, next Monday, talking about his new 8-week program, Warrior Goddess Life. You don't want to miss that. So he'll be here next week. And if any of you want to take your dream to the screen, hook up with us at Electric Revival. That's the digital content creation company that I and Daniel Echeverria, host of Daily Dose of Dano, run together, so we can help you out. Just reach out, holla at your boy, and we'll get you in here. BELONE, getting you in here. Welcome back. Before we showed the promo for your book, how's the book doing? I heard great things about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just taken off, and being able to take the book and just taking it into a new medium. I don't know if we've spoken about it before, but now it's being released the summer semester into 3 universities around the country.
That's awesome.
I can't say exactly which ones they are yet because it's can't do it yet.
Right.
But yeah, so it's taken, and there's just so many other beautiful things that are in the works. And, we can, I do want to shout out to Lori, Sherry, Charles, Robert. Just want to say hi to you guys, Caroline. So
hi, all you guys. Yes. Yeah. So when people hear the title of the book, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, one might think from the gate, just at face value, that it's for men, by men, for men. But is that necessarily the case or no?
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, so we wrote the book for men because we knew that if we tried to write it to everybody, it would gain less traction. And then, of course, because we wrote it for men, many women were like, hey, is it for only men? And so actually more women buy the book than men, and which is interesting. But it's a book where it's has so many universal concepts, universal principles that applies to anybody. If you have a soul, it's good. It's a good book for you.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. Now you say in your bio that you are a curious explorer, harmonious creator, and appreciator of the good things in life. What did you mean when you said harmonious creator? I'd never heard that before, but I love it. Talk about that if you could.
Yeah, so it's for me, I've always identified as an explorer, because I like to travel. I like to really experience new cultures, new places. And that was my primary. And in the book, we talk about, what is your identity? And we have a 2-word moniker. And so for me, Curious Explorer was the first one that popped up. But as I continued to go down my path, curious exploration is a means to creating what you want in life. And so for me, harmonious creation is this idea where I'm going to be exactly who I am, and I'm going to co-create with people that are exactly who they are. And because of that authenticity with us as individuals, it brings about this beautiful harmony to where I'm not trying to create what you're creating. I'm not trying to create what other people are creating. I'm creating exactly what's within my heart. And so by being able to really sink into that idea of we're uniquely different and we're uniquely expressing exactly who we are, and the more that we find that authenticity, it's that much easier for us to find co-creators. So if we want to create a business, let's create a business, and you do exactly what you do well, I do what I do well, and then we just move forward in a co-creative vision, and then act and take the next steps in accordance with that, who we are and where we're going.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna tell everybody, listen, I checked it out, and the ratings are out the door, through the roof on Facebook, Audible, Goodreads, all 5s across the board pretty much. And so it's being quite well received. I asked you in the prep for today if you could grab a little piece of it, give us a little appetizer, if you would, from the book. So do you have something you can share with us about one of your favorite excerpts from the book?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
So this is a section entitled We Are What We Decide. And so the idea behind it is that we have the power to decide who we are. No one can tell us who we are. And if we do relinquish that power, we're not going to be able to express exactly who we are and make the impact in the world that we want. So we are what we decide. Who are you? Take a moment and sit with that question. Roll it around in your mind. If you're tempted to answer with, I'm Joe. Who is Joe? Imagine we're sitting across the table from one another and having a couple of drinks. If I asked you what you want to be and where you want to go, could you answer? Or would you choke on your beer? Swallow hard and then stumble through a half-baked answer. Don't stress. Most men can't answer that question, which is why most men never reach the highest levels of greatness and achieve the quality of life they envy. Many men want to live differently. They want the respect they deserve and the spontaneous affection they long for. They want a different experience out of life, but they never fully decide to go after it. Going after it doesn't mean divorcing your wife, quitting your job, or parting ways with the barber you've used since you were 12 years old. It means you stop being wishy-washy and stop settling for standing on the sidelines. It means you flip the switch in your mind and decide that you are unleashing your humble alpha. By picking up this book, you took the first step on your journey to your highest self. The next step in activating your humble alpha is to get clear on what you want to be and where you want to go. You have to do this work. We're your guides, but we won't change your life. You will. A new book or a course isn't going to change your life. When you decide you've had enough and you're ready, then you'll change, but not until then.
Wow. Ooh, I got a little chill there at the end. Okay. Now I'm assuming you wrote that part.
I don't know. It was a culmination for sure.
Well, that's what I want to ask, because I wrote a book with someone, and it was like, it's around here somewhere. And, I wrote so many chapters, he wrote so many chapters, and, that sort of thing. But this book was a little different. You have chapters that you wrote together. Is that right?
So we did a kind of a unique book writing experience. So we had all this, and we were going to just write about HIT, honesty, integrity, and transparency, which Stephen talks about all the time. And he coined that before him and I met. But what basically, and James is on here, and this is, we're actually going to be talking about this soon. But basically, we outlined what we wanted to discuss in the book. And then we broke it down into 5 sections for this particular book. And so each section, we basically got interviewed on the different aspects of the teaching points, the stories, and then the action steps that we wanted to share in the book. And so it was all conversation based as the root of the content. And so that was the beauty of the editor, Holly, that actually took the conversations. So we basically did a Zoom call. We got interviewed. The transcriptions of the audio were put into text, and then she basically put it into a beautiful dance of words that just made sense. So that way it was well communicated to the reader. And so in addition to that, Stephen and I are on the very same wavelength on all this stuff, or at least 90% of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he says about creating space, the humble alpha, stepping into your greatness, relational capital, all these different topics that we talk about in the book, we're already on the same wavelength. So if he says it, it's like I would be like, "Yep, that's it right there." Or if I say it, he's like, "Yep, that's it right there." So it's a very collaborative mind of the principles, concepts, stories that are in the book. So if he says it, it's great. If I say it, it's great. So it's
what's interesting about it is because I've been on the screen with both of you, and then when you look at the title, the juxtaposition, the irony that's right there, humble and alpha, you wouldn't ordinarily think that the two go together. Because usually when people say he's an alpha male or whatever, we were there when I saw Marty and James a couple weekends ago, and he's coming up, Renford is coming up on the show actually next Tuesday. And everyone was like, now we're just letting you know, when Ren gets here, he's a true alpha male. Now they'll probably kick us out 20 minutes after he gets here. And they didn't kick us out, but there were, towels and stuff all over the floor from spilled food and drink within 20 minutes. So they were right. Everything changed once he got there. But my point is the humble and the alpha. Ordinarily, you wouldn't think those two go together, but they do. And that's what I love about the combination of you and Steven. You're so different, but it works. You know what I mean? When I hear humble, when I look at humble, I look at you. When I think alpha, I look at him. Not that you're not, but you know what I mean, if you were going to line you guys up. So I wanted to give the audience just a little taste of what I was talking about. Now, if I can find it now, I have it somewhere here. Let me see. I'm trying to, I pulled it up, but I can't wait to get to ABC or NBC where there's somebody who will do all this for me, because I'm not that good at it. Where is it? Hold on.
By the way, thank you, Marty, for that comment about getting the book for his mom and then donating a copy to the local library. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Thank you, brother.
Who did that?
Marty Martinez. Brother.
Marty. I don't know. That name doesn't ring, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes, Marty. Wait a minute. I got to get that off. That's not what I want. I want something. I want them to see you guys in action together, but I had to pull it from someplace that, let's see. I'm thinking, is it here? I don't know. I might have to let you talk. Go ahead. And do you have one more thing? How does the book end? What is I'll tell you why I'm asking that question. After you tell me what is it you want? I always imagine this when I'm writing a book or even a speech. Even I know that when I've read certain books that have really resonated and changed my life, when I close it, I immediately start the grieving process because I hate it that it's over with. It's like when your favorite Netflix series ends, the finale forever, and you miss the characters. You're like, oh, Ray, Abby died or whatever. And I always lay the book on my chest and go, oh, wow. So what did you envision? What was your hope for that person, those people, when they closed the last chapter and the book is shut and they finished? What was your hope that they would take from it?
Inspired action. So it's a journey of inside out, and so the last section, or nearly the last section, is basically a company full of humble alphas, and being able to bring out the humble alpha, bring out your most authentic self first, empower your team, empower other people that you're doing business with in partnerships, joint ventures, and then being able to bring out the best in everybody within your organization, and then just carrying it out into the world. And so that inspired action was the intent behind the book, and because of the book, is now cascading into an entire ecosystem of leadership paradigm shifts.
Wow. And you know, there's a lot of big words.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot get this thing to work. Well, listen, you guys, here's what I found. I want you guys, if you're interested, do you guys do a show, or do you just do a lot of lives together? Is it an actual Humble Alpha show?
No, we don't have a show right now. No.
Because when you Google Humble Alpha, you get an entire string of videos, you know, where you guys, I love that. I was trying to show the one, Lane, I just couldn't make it work, where you guys are sitting there taking people down chapter by chapter. Talk about that. Why? I've never seen anybody do that. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant, because I was like, oh, okay. Why did you feel it was important to take people by the hand just to get them started inside this piece?
Well, it's a big paradigm upgrade. The entire book is, and it's about exposing beautiful, powerful concepts that are going to change your life. But it's going to take a little bit of action. It's going to take a little bit of faith. It's going to take people that are already on this journey, and not necessarily just the Humble Alpha journey, but a journey of like bringing out your greatness, bringing out that authentic self. And it's a paradigm shift. And for many people, it's like, is this really possible? Are you able to just have a really beautiful, powerful life with beautiful people that are just doing good stuff?
Yeah.
Like really, like
right.
It absolutely is. And so the idea is that doing those videos, and that was last year, is to provide some context, because the book is a concise, precise message. You know, every story, every paragraph is very intentional. There's no fluff in there. There's no because there's a lot of self-help books that are, you know, like it's drawing it out, like, you know, and this one is a very potent book. And
it is.
When there's potency there, a lot of times context needs to be, additional context helps frame how powerful the book actually is. And so by us having discussions, us continuing to talk about it from different angles, and for instance, every Friday at 11 Eastern, we're on Clubhouse with some of the Glenn Lundy's Breakfast with Champions hosts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we do that every week on Friday. It's in Clubhouse, and we speak for an hour, and we're diving into the book. And we actually have we have 3 hosts, and they guide the conversation. And then Stephen and I, we provide context with different parts of the book. And so I think we're on section 4 right now. So I think, you know, as you know, this is live right now, tomorrow, 11 Eastern on Clubhouse. Nice. We continue that conversation too.
Awesome. On the screen right now is where you can head over to grab your copy of humblealphabook.com, but it is Unleash Your Humble Alpha. Follow this link over. I will drop it inside the comments unless Sherry McQueen beats me to it. Hint, hint. And get over and check it out. Go to Amazon, read some of the reviews, read the bios of both Stephen and Lane, and you'll understand how they came to be authorities on this particular subject and more, all covered within the book. Now, Lane, I can't see how this could not be the case with both you and Stephen, but let's speak to you because you're here and he isn't right now. Tell him I said hello, by the way.
Will do.
How was it for you? How is it for you today when you look at the you prior to writing this book? And how did it pour into making you a better version of yourself and living your best life just because you wrote it? Because oftentimes when we go and we do things for others, we're being of service and we're doing it because we really want people to get it. We really want people to have it. But then lo and behold, when we least expect it, there's been a big change within our own paradigm. So talk about that. How do you see or feel that you have grown or expanded? What's the biggest takeaway that you've received from this experience of writing and sharing this book with the world?
Yeah. So, you know, as we move forward in life, we can't help but be exactly who we are and express exactly who we are. But being able to articulate that adds to the potency of that expression, or and simply put, is that we've lived by these principles for many, many, many years, and sometimes they didn't have a name. And being able to just do it was powerful enough. But then whenever you say, okay, this is exactly how I'm operating life. I'm creating space. I'm investing in relational capital. I'm digging into exactly who I am, my identity, my purpose, and I'm focusing every effort on quality of life to where I'm enjoying every single moment. And so by articulating that, it creates a potency moving forward to where now I'm so clear on who I am and what I'm doing because I have words with it. And it's not about the words, but it's about the clarity. It's about the precision, the articulation, and then being able to just continue to move in life in that manner. It continues to unfold even higher paradigms, even higher concepts and principles in which that are building upon the original version of this book, so like, because of this book, we have, several powerful, beautiful concepts, like, for instance, powerful play, playful power. How do you incorporate that in your life? And how do you, it's not what you create, it's the approach in which you create it. So we don't talk about this in the book yet because these are like new things that are coming out, and it's the approach in which we live life.
Yeah.
So if we're hustling and grinding to get 6 figures or 7 figures, and then when we say, okay, when I get 7 figures, I'm gonna live the good life. Then I'm gonna relax. Then I'm gonna have good times with good people. But you've already decided on the approach in life, and so you have to change that default within yourself once you get to that milestone, or you just decide, you know what, I'm gonna powerfully play every weekend or every day in some capacity.
I love
that's going to lead to playful power. That's going to lead me to just have this lighthearted playfulness, but it's going to lead to profound impact because of the potency of who I am. And I know exactly who I am. So all this stuff has led to, the next thing, and just being able to take the next step. And, it's a beautiful thing. So, and I know I was speaking for myself, but I know this is happening for Stephen as well. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So before we get out of here, Lane, remind everybody how long did you serve in the Air Force?
I was in the Army for 12 years. Yeah.
Oh, you weren't I thought you were in the Air Force like me.
No.
You ain't even supposed to be on this show. Bye. Just kidding.
I know.
Get some every time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I knew you were in the Army. And you were a Green Beret.
Yep.
Thank you for your sacrifice. And there should be a parentheses with an S in it at the end of that word. And of course, for your service. Thank you for this book. Thank you for the retreats. Thank you for just what you bring sitting there in front of us right now as Lane BELONE, because it is good enough. And Lane, I'm telling you, what a guy. And I love what you and Stephen are doing. Please continue the work. For those of you out there who are interested in continuing the dialogue with Lane, and perhaps you want to meet with he and Stephen and find out about the many things they're doing, the book, the retreats, the different groups that they have, and all of that, get over to Facebook, where you can find him at lane.belone, or to get your book, head over to humblealphabook.com. Please, again, tell Stephen we say hello from here. We got to get him on so he can, you guys always you're like Laverne and Shirley, you know what I'm saying, that duo that people, Batman and Robin, that everybody books together. I thought it'd be great to get you guys in one at a time. So let him know he's next. And if he's ready to come, I know, is he still overseas?
Yeah, he's still in Hungary.
He's still in Hungary.
For now.
Okay, he's still in Hungary, and I'm getting hungry because I haven't drank my steak. So listen, as we get out of here, you guys get out and be the blessing you'd like to receive in the world. Be that gift that you'd like to receive. Remember, in order to unleash your humble alpha, how to give the world your very best and live your very best, just get up every day. Look for the E and the R. Don't worry about the other 24 letters of the alphabet. Take your great to greater. Take your bright to brighter. And take your strong to stronger. We do that by sharing our stories, having the conversation, and pouring whatever we have into others. Lane, again, God bless you. What a great guy you are. We just love you here. And thank all of you. Yes, yes. What's your Jerry Springer final thought? If you were to leave people with one comment, one statement that you hope they'd never forget, what would that be?
You are great. I promise you. And take the next step to bring out that greatness.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. Take that with you. Receive it. I'll see you out front tomorrow morning again, God willing, at 8 a.m. Central on the front porch for our next installment of Bathrobe Moments. Be blessed. Bye-bye.